is yoga. But that is not true. It is the union with the God, and it liberates us from the triple suffering of the body, mind, and ego.
So,
And
Mataji, how do you develop this union with God? It's the most beautiful thing in this world. How do you develop union with God? What is the way?
to
It's not,
realize the truth, to
no,
realize the truth.
no. You said it is not pranayama, it is not asana. Anybody just doing, it's not easy to connect to God. You have to have your yoga.
When
So,
we are in silence, we can unite with God.
so are you saying just by being in silence, you can unite? Anybody is in silence, you unite with God? Is it true?
When somebody experiences consciousness, then he or she experiences
As I told you, today is a very dynamic session. So tell me, who else will come? What are the different ways of yoga? How does one unite with the divine? Sudeep Bhargava.
Shivam sir.
Shivam.
Sir, Kiran auntie has already said that yoga is actually Shivam sir, Shivam. I hope I'm audible. So yoga is actually the union with the yoga is actually the union with the supreme immortal power, the SIP power that we talk about. And the asanas that we do is similar to the servicing to the car that we do. Although if we do the servicing to the car will remain healthy, it will take us to our destination. So that is how these asanas can help me keeping my body healthy, which is like a car through which I can go to my destination, which is ultimately the SIP. But union with God is the actual yoga. The rest of the things are just the support activities.
How do you develop this union with God?
For that, I can take an example of a lake, sir. If I want to see the bottom of the lake, there are two things which are required. One, that the water should be very clear, and second, that the water has to be still. So for the clear water is something like we have to purify ourselves. And for the stillness is like what Kiranati said, that we have to sit in silence. So those are two things that I believe can take us close to God, is a purification and then sitting in silence. Otherwise, there are 4 forms of yoga: Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and the Karma Yoga. I think I've missed one of them.
You are familiar with 4 yogas. The world knows of 4 yogas. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga. There are 4 methods. So we have covered today one important point. Yoga is not just doing exercises. This is not yoga. This is called asana. And what Baba Ramdev does, with all due respect, is these exercises which are yoga, but he may be knowing the higher form of yoga, which the people only see him doing gymnastics, what they show on the television. And there are many centers which talk about pranayama and they talk about breathing techniques. But my dear friend, how does you think it's a joke to be united to God? You think it's a joke to be united with the divine? It's not a joke. First of all, you have to realize God, where is God? Who is God? What is God? Then there is a magical way. And if anybody else would like to try, I think some of you might have heard me catch this magic. Anybody who knows?
Shivam Sarji.
Shivam.
There's a path, there's a way to yoga. Bhakti, Karam, Dhyan, and Gyan.
Very good. So there are four paths, right? 4 ways.
Shivam Sarji, can you hear me, Sarji?
There are 4 ways, correct? Yeah, I could hear you. There are 4 methods, 4 ways to go into yoga.
To reach.
Yeah. So my dear friends, you are right up to a point that if you want to be in yoga, yoga means you must disconnect from bhoga. Bhoga means that you are connected to the world, and if you're connected to the world, you're drawn to the world. You can't be drawn to God. So if you want to be drawn, you can either be pulled in the left direction or in the right direction. If you're pulled in the left direction, then you're pulled out. If you're pulled in the right direction, then you're pulled in. So yoga is union with the divine, not what in Rishikesh. In Rishikesh, if you go, they say, yoga every second house in Rishikesh teaches rubbish yoga. Rubbish yoga means just pay money and do exercises and some garbage. You don't learn yoga. Yoga means not union of body, mind, and soul. No. Yoga means union of the soul with the Supreme. How can you be united with the divine? And my dear friends, today I'm sharing with you a divine realization that SIP gave me yesterday. I'm surprised many of you were not present yesterday when I got a gift from SIP yesterday. And the gift is the fifth form of yoga. The gift is not karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and dhyana yoga. The fifth form of yoga is prema yoga. How many of you have heard the word prema yoga? I got this when I was singing yesterday. I don't know how many of you saw the Monday Bhajan program. But prema yoga means you are able to be in union with God. When you love in this world, when you have beautiful love in this world, you love a divine soul. And when you love a divine soul, you are loving God. You're not loving the skin. You're loving the divine within. Many people don't understand the difference between bhakti and bhakti yoga, karma and karma yoga, dhyana and dhyana yoga, jnana and jnana yoga. The word yoga creates the magic. And what is prema yoga? Today I'm teaching you this.
गुरुजी, रूह से रूह का प्यार.
रूह से रूह का प्यार. माता जी, आपने कल सुना क्या माता जी?
हाँ जी, सुना.
फिर आपने बोला नहीं फिर आंसर.
रूह से रूह का प्यार.
रूह से रूह का प्यार मतलब it is love between the soul and the soul, not loving the skin, but loving the soul within. It is not Laila Majnu. It is not Romeo and Juliet. It is not between man and woman. It is not between mother and daughter. It is not between two best friends, my dear seekers on the Zoom. I am sharing with you a divine revelation. And this divine revelation came yesterday during the bhajan. It is called Prema Yoga. Prema Yoga means the ability to be in yoga with God, with the divine, through Prema. You love your beloved, but you don't see your beloved just as a skin. My dear friends, what ordinary love it is. What ordinary love it is just to love your husband or wife or child as a physical being. Can you love the divine? Can you love the God in them? This is called Prema Yoga. You know, this is the way a person can experience God. A person can experience God in all these ways through Karma Yoga. Mother Teresa, she did Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means she saw God in every suffering. Vivekananda said, Shiva Jnani Jana Seva. जो शिव का ज्ञानी है वो जन का सेवा करता है. So my dear friends, I don't know whether you understand this concept and whether you would like to ask me questions today. I would try to focus on this subject today. If you want enlightenment, then enlightenment means switching on the light and seeing the divine through your love. Love is considered to be such a mundane thing in the world. Love is considered to be such an ordinary thing in the world. Love is considered just to be something between skin and skin. But that is not love. That is lust. That is lust. Can you love the God, the SIP, the Supreme? I don't even know whether you're understanding what I'm saying. Are you even understanding the meaning of Prema Yoga? Who will explain whether you understood this and whether you understand the meaning of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga? But for the first time, the divine has gifted us the fifth and the most dynamic yoga called Prema Yoga. Over to you. Who would like to ask questions on the subject? Shilpa. Yes, Shilpa.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bolo.
More than a question, I actually want to share the answer to the question that you have, what is yoga, etc. I agree with the part when you say it's a union of this with the divine. However, with all due respect, I respectfully disagree with rest of the things when you say it is not a union of body, mind, and soul. It is a union of the physical body, physical mind, and the soul that we have, and then the ultimate union with the ultimate divine, the sip that we call. If our body is in misery, like I have been in a misery of the body since 1 week, I know that even if I want to sit in silence, I am not able to do that. If my mind is overthinking, even if I know that my soul is the supreme power, until and unless my physical body and my mind is in control and is happier, my soul cannot realize things. So it is everything what you said. It's a combination of all the body, mind, soul, and the sip. It cannot be diversified, it cannot be dissected. Then the Prem yoga is part of the bhakti yoga. Bhakti is devotion. Devotion, any which ways, comes from uh, when we don't have any expectations from anything. That's what is devotion. We just love.
Okay, Shilpa, with all due respect, I don't want to dilute the subject. The fact is, Bhakti yoga is towards a deity. Bhakti yoga comes from bhakti, from art. It's an evolution of bhakti, and
Respectfully disagree.
It has got prem in it. No, you can disagree. There's nobody has. You're not forced to agree. But those who want to develop today, Sudeep Bhargava, when you are in loving a person like your wife or your child, up to now, that's only prem. But I'm saying, Sudeep, if you can see the divine in Ruchika, your wife, or you can see the divine in your children, that leads to a new yoga, and it's called Prema Yoga. If Shilpa cannot see it, let her not see it. Don't worry about it. And if some people want the ordinary yoga of union of body, mind, and soul, we do not believe that the body is Satya. Body is Mithya. Body is just made
We
up
are
of
still
five.
living in it.
Yeah. Of course, you're living in it. But it is a very mediocre way of yoga. And therefore, those who think
it is necessary.
So as I said, you can stick to your belief. You're not forced to, everybody is not forced to believe. And everybody has the right to believe what you want to believe. But if you want the ultimate yoga is about union of the soul with the divine. So it's up to you. You are welcome to stay with the difference of opinion. Amitash. Yes, Amitash.
Shivoham, Master.
Shivam.
Thank you for taking this session, Master. Master, I have two questions. Master, my first question is, when you said Prema Yoga, you are saying that I should see the soul in the divine in the other person, or should I see divine? So, Master, when I see divine in other person, so so basically, if I see divine in another person and be nice to him, actually I'm being nice to him only because I'm not able to serve God.
No. Let me explain to you.
Thank you, Master.
So, Amitash, suppose today you're in love with a girl. You're deeply in love with a girl. Okay. So what is that called?
That is called relationship.
That's called love.
Yes, love. Yeah.
It's only called love. Up to today, up to this session, if somebody asks you, Laila Majnu, what is Laila Majnu?
That is love. Love.
It is love, pure love. Shiri Farhan, whatever are the stories, Romeo, Juliet, what are these stories? They are pure love, correct?
Yes, Master.
Yesterday, I got a gift from the divine, and I'm sharing this. I only got it last night. It was live in the temple, and many of the people here were on Facebook watching the session when it came live. So what did the gift come from the divine? Let me explain to you. If you can love your beloved so deeply as if you are loving God, not loving the skin of that person whom you are loving, can you see God in that person? This is a very, see, Amitash, the difference between bhakti and bhakti yoga. Just I'm giving you an example.
Okay.
If you are doing arti or kirtan or bhajan or abhishek, this is called bhakti. But through the method of bhakti, if you can unite with the divine, it becomes bhakti yoga. If you are doing karma, if you are saying I'm serving the poor, it is only called karma. Why it is called karma? Because you're doing good karma to get good phal, karma phal. But when you do karma, seeing God in the suffering, then it becomes karma yoga. It is no more karma. The karma transforms into karma yoga. Are you getting my point? Up to today,
Master,
you can continue.
Master, you said if I see God in the suffering of the poor, so
Yeah.
that is karma yoga. Just now you said, Master, if I see God in their suffering, then doesn't that transform into prema yoga, Master?
No, because you are doing seva. That the action performed by you is seva. It is karma yoga. When you are loving your beloved, the action performed by you is prema. So it is prema yoga. Through prema, don't look at your beloved as a beautiful person on the earth. Look at your beloved as divine, as Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Look at your beloved as God, or rather a goddess. Can you look at your loved one as a goddess? Not, and therefore that doesn't restrict your love to one person. Each relationship will evolve. You can't treat everybody at the same level of prema yoga, because with some people the prema yoga may be very high. But those who reach the highest level of prema yoga, their love is ishq hakiki. We spoke about it recently. It is loving the universe. I'm telling you, it is a very new concept that has reached me less than 24 hours ago. But I don't believe in sharing this. Normally, love is love. Love is not divine. How do you make your love divine? If you can look at your beloved, if you can look at your sweetheart as a goddess, it's not easy. What I'm telling is not easy. So, Amitash, if you have any other questions, I'd like to get a few more feedbacks. So you want to,
that's all, Master. Thank you so much, Master. Thank you.
Please come back. Sudeep Bhargava, you want to say something?
Yeah, Shivam sir.
Shivam.
So yesterday when I heard you in the night, so I just thought about it. Although it's a beautiful concept, I have no issues. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's not having issues or something. But to my understanding, can I put it in this way that it's a very good union between the bhakti yoga and the gyan yoga, because the gyan yoga will tell me that my wife is actually not my wife, she's an atma. That's gyan. And when my bhakti is for that sip, so can I say that the two combined together can give us the prem yoga? So prem yoga is actually bhakti yoga plus gyan yoga. It's like the intersection of the sets, if I talk it mathematically.
It's very easy for me to say yes to you, but let me explain to you.
Yes, sir. That's what I want.
Sudeep, Jnana Yoga means that you're in yoga through Jnana. Is it simple, Sudeep? You're doing Jnana, and through the Jnana, you become in yoga. Is it clear? Bhakti Yoga means, Sudeep, when you're ringing the bell of the temple, dang, dang, you're doing Bhakti, and through that Bhakti, Sudeep, you become in yoga. Now, let us not confuse the matter. Prema or love is a completely separate subject. You can't confuse prema with bhakti and jnana. Prema is the love you have for your beloved, for your wife. You agree your love for your wife is love for your wife? Till today, Sudeep, you have loved your wife just as you loving your wife. Please stop. Please stop and look at her as a Devi. Look at her as a goddess. Look at her as a manifestation of Sip, and continue to love her even more. It is a completely different concept. It is moving away from dhyana, jnana, karma, and bhakti. There were 4 ways of remaining in yoga we spoke of up to yesterday. Today we have got the 5th. Love is no more a taboo. Love is supposed to be a taboo. प्यार की बात करते हैं क्या? प्यार की बात करता है. Love is not a taboo. if you can love with divinity, if you can make your love so deep that you don't love the skin. Oh, I don't love the appearance. I want to love my wife so deeply that I'm loving God. This can't be diluted with bhakti and jnana. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It is you and your love for an earthly being, manifestation of the divine, to be able to love God appearing as, for example, I love my dog. I love my dog so much. It is only prema yoga. It is only prema yoga because I see my God in my dog. This is another form of deep love. But this people may not understand. But prema yoga with you and your beloved, everybody understands. So Sudeep, I hope I'm coming across. Don't, and you please experiment it. Come back to me tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and tell me more about it. Okay? Rekha, please. Thank you, Sudeep. Rekha.
शिवम
शिवम, बोलो रेखा.
यार मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा आपने आज एक योगा ऐड किया, प्रेम योगा, क्योंकि मुझे थोड़ा समझ में आया है कि प्यार को असल में हम बहुत गलत तरीके से देखते हैं. प्यार असल में वो है नहीं जो हम देखते हैं. प्यार एक पूजा के जैसा, मुझे ये लगता है कि प्यार पूजा होना चाहिए, जैसे हम भगवान की पूजा करते हैं वैसे. And I want to ask that how can I learn all these yogas? स्टेप एक से एक के बाद एक सीखना होगा कि सारा कुछ एक साथ में सीख सकती हूँ, कैसे सीख सकती हूँ?
You must understand that your life, no Rekha, your life has to be, from the time you wake up in the morning, you must try to remain in these 5 yogas. Earlier, I used to say only 4 yogas. Now I've added the 5th yoga. And it's not my, it came to me when I was praying in the temple yesterday. So when you get up in the morning, don't jump into your work. When you get up in the morning, start with dhyana yoga. Dhyana yoga means silence. After dhyana yoga, in the dhyana yoga, either you will go into karma yoga or bhakti yoga or jnana yoga. Then, as you move forward in the day, you will do karma yoga, you will do jnana yoga. And when you meet your beloved, your people, from now onwards, experience prema yoga. Which means try to spend every moment in yoga. Because either you can spend your time in yoga or you can spend your time in bhoga. If you don't spend your time in yoga, in union with the divine, then you are pulled into bhoga. Bhoga means you're pulled into samsara. That is a simple challenge. More of it you will learn slowly. Just capture these 5 things and I will explain to you further.
Okay, thank you. And one more question. You said that this मतलब आपने एग्जांपल दिया था ना वो लहर और समुंदर का, तो लहर समुंदर में मिलती है, तो अभी रियलाइज अभी मैं तो समुंदर हूँ ऐसा आप कहते हो ना, तो फिर मृत्यु के बाद तो समुंदर ही हूँ ना, अब लहर रहूंगी तो समुंदर में मिलूंगी ना, तो मृत्यु के बाद समुंदर से कैसे मिलेगा?
You are giving an example of the ocean and the wave. That is not like a mortal human being. That is just called an analogy. Analogy means just an example.
वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा मेरे को. ये समझ में आ गया कि मैं लहर हूँ, समुंदर इस सिप, लेकिन फिर मृत्यु के बाद
तो लहर और समुंदर में जब लहर, when the wave realizes I am not the wave, I am the ocean, it doesn't come back as the wave. This is just an explanation. In reality, the wave will keep on coming back because it's not a living creature. It is just a nature. So where you are concerned, at death the body will die. And if you do not realize you are sip, then you will be the me, the mind and ego, and you will have rebirth. But if you realize you are the divine soul, you will become one with the divine.
ये one with divine ही नहीं समझ में आ रहा है.
अच्छा मैं समझाता हूँ. आप कहते हैं बलून लेते हैं, बेटे का बलून.
वो समझ में आ गया मेरे को. हवा आप 2 बलून में भरते हो, फिर बलून खाली करते हो तो वो बलून हवा जो होती है बलून में वो मिक्स हो जाती है.
Just like the air in the balloon mixes with the air everywhere, the soul in you mixes with the supreme soul.
फिर तो सुप्रीम सोल फिर मुझसे भी बड़ा भगवान हो गया ना?
नहीं, it is everywhere. It's energy. पूरी दुनिया में एनर्जी है. Even science will tell you dark matter, gray matter. आसमान में क्या है, ऊपर कॉस्मोस में क्या है. It's all energy. Everything in this universe is energy. All right, so Rekha, we are running out of time, Rekha, today, so I want to move to Kiran.
Okay,
Try to
thank you.
contemplate. No, but try to contemplate. If not clear, come back tomorrow with the question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ru Mataji. Ru Mataji.
गुरुजी, ये जो 5 योगास हैं, थैंक्स फॉर द 5th योगा, गिविंग अस 5th योगा. कोई भी पाथ जो है, कोई भी योगा फॉलो करें, it is of equal importance, na?
It is not actually. There are no 5 yogas. Actually, all the 5 yogas are one yoga. The 5 yoga एक ही है. Ru Mataji, yoga only. हम क्या करते हैं? Because a human being from morning to night, we do different things. हम भक्ति करते हैं, ध्यान करते हैं, कर्म करते हैं, हम सब कुछ. आप किचन में काम करते हैं, वो क्या हुआ? किचन में जो आप काम करते हैं, वो क्या हुआ?
किचन में काम करते वक्त तो मैं आपके भजन सुनती हूँ.
ओके, तो वो भजन सुनते, वो क्या हुआ?
भक्ति योग.
ओनली भक्ति. भजन सुनना भक्ति है. लेकिन if you are, when listening to bhajans, if you are united with the God, it becomes bhakti yoga. When you are doing cooking the food in the kitchen, it is only karma. But if you are thinking of God and telling Prabhu, मैं आपके लिए खाना बना रही हूँ, it becomes karma yoga. When you look at your husband and you love him, it is only prema. But when you start looking at him as a devata, it becomes prema yoga. There are different things we do from morning to night. We do A, B, C, D, E. And we may call these things, depending on our actions, as dhyana, karma, bhakti, jnana, and now prema. But are we able to use these to come in yoga with the divine? Are we able to be united with God, with Sit?
इस बात के लिए केयरफुल रहना.
Suppose I love you deeply. Who am I loving? Am I loving my Mataji? Am I loving a lovely seeker? Or am I loving the goddess in you? How can I see the Devi in you? How can I see the divine in you?
When you love Ru.
Yeah, and when that, no, not only when I love you as the Ru, and that love is for the divine, it becomes prema yoga. Your love must be not love for the human being. Your love must be for the divine manifesting as the human being. आप समझ रहे हैं मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
समझ रहे. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Amitash, come back, Amitash.
Shivam Guruji, Master. Master, when you were telling to Guru Mataji, so you told that when you are listening to bhajan, that is bhakti yoga when you unite with the God, when you are with the divine. So Master, I need to know, what is that state called? Is that a state of trance, what we call when listening to music or when?
Okay. So Amitash is like this. Suppose I am doing bhakti. I am doing an arti in the temple, correct?
Yes, Master.
When I'm doing arti in the temple, what am I doing? I am doing Om Jai Jagadish Hare. So I am doing the arti, means I am praying to God. There is duality. God is different, I am different. I am praying to God, correct?
Yes, Master.
When the bhakti becomes that God is in me and I am praying because I am in love with that God, then God and me are not two. We are one.
Okay. Advaita.
Correct.
Advaita philosophy. You
So
told
that bhakti becomes bhakti yoga. So bhakti yoga, for example, today I was speaking to a divine soul. I think Preeti is on the call. So Preeti is another new divine soul of our mastermind. So Preeti gave me the story today, and she told me when Lord Rama asked Hanuman, "Hey Hanuman, who are you to me?" So Hanuman said, "Lord, oh Lord Rama, my Lord you are the Lord and I am the slave. And when Rama smiled, Hanuman said, Prabhuji, oh God, oh Lord, but because I realize I am the Atma and you are the Atma, we are both same. We are one. Now this is the explanation of how Hanuman moved from bhakti to bhakti yoga. When he was bowing down to Rama as his Lord, he was showing bhakti to his Lord. But when he suddenly told Lord Rama, so what is the bhajan? Pucha Shri Ram se, पूछा हनुमान से श्री राम ये के तुम्हारा मुझसे क्या है नाता. पूछा हनुमान से ये श्री राम ने तुम्हारा मुझसे क्या है नाता. हनुमान ने कहा प्रभु दास हूँ आपका. हनुमान ने कहा प्रभु दास हूँ आपका. पर जब ज्ञान हो गया मैं एक आत्मा. जब ज्ञान हो गया मैं एक आत्मा. मैं भी एक आत्मा, आप भी एक आत्मा, और फर्क नहीं है हमारा. राम फिर प्रसन्न हुए हनुमान के एहसास से कि दोनों सच में परमात्मा परमात्मा. So this is the divinity, Amitash. This is a very famous story of Ram and Hanuman. That Hanuman told Ram, you are my Lord, I am your slave. And then he told Rama, but my Lord, you are also Atma, I am also Atma, we are both Paramatma, we are one and the same.
Yes, Master. Master, in
Amitash
simple words,
बेटा,
Guru Mataji.
बोलो
अमिताश, मैं गुरु माँ नहीं हूँ, मैं सिर्फ माँ हूँ. हमारे गुरुजी तो एक ही है, AiR. मैं गुरु माँ नहीं हूँ, मैं सिर्फ माँ बोलो.
Okay. I thought the Master is addressing you by that way, so I thought it would be inappropriate to call.
Of course, all of you are Guru.
वो
You all are
रूल
my
कहते
Guru.
हैं, मैं कोई गुरु माता जी नहीं हूँ.
Master, just want to get it clear in my head. So would it be, in simple terms, would it be correct to say immersion in that, whatever you're doing, whether it's Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, the immersion of such a way that we forget that even we are doing it, performing of that act also in itself, that is what is union with the divine. Am I right, Master?
Right up to a point. When you are so immersing yourself that you forget everything and you are deeply into jnana, bhakti, dhyana, karma and prema, but that should lead you to the consciousness of the divine. Fill in the blanks. I'm filling in the blanks. Your such immersion should not only be an immersion where there is blankness. That immersion must be so immersed that there is a consciousness of the divine. Then it becomes yoga. If there is no consciousness of the divine, then there is no yoga.
Okay, Master. Okay, because like people who do it, like in the psychedelics and all, so they say that if you do this, then there is this thing known as ego death and immersion or the state of trance. But they can never reach that thing you just now told of the state of consciousness should be there, that I am with the divine.
If you reach ego death, but you don't know you are the divine, then what is the use? The moment there is ego death, you will automatically. When will there be ego death? Ego death cannot happen independently. Ego death only happens when you realize I am not this, I am that.
Yes, Master.
So the people who are telling you or talking to you are not talking about the complete enlightenment or the realization. It is part by part. It is bit by bit. It is having the bread but not putting the butter. You can't eat the sandwich. So all I'm saying that, my dear friends, to conclude today's discussion, don't think yoga is physical exercise. Don't think yoga is just breathing techniques or pranayama. Yoga is not just union of body, mind, and soul. Yoga, true yoga, is coming from the word yuj. Y-U-J. Yuj means union. Yuj means when the soul in us, the Atma, becomes one with the Paramatma. How can I be in yoga? How can I practically be in yoga? I can practically be in yoga through Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. I knew 4 methods myself up to yesterday night. Yesterday night when I was in Bhakti, the Divine sent me a beautiful realization that if you are loving a mortal being, that love is no use. That love is useless unless you can love the Divine that appears as the mortal being. If you are able to love a mortal being, not as the mortal being, but as the immortal soul, that is Prema Yoga. You have to, Atmatra, you getting my point, Atmatra? I hope you are understanding, or you are silent.
I want to say something, sir.
Yes,
Just
sir.
1 second. I am 100% agree with you, sir. Prema Yoga is the direct way to get enlightenment. In Maharashtra, there was a saint, Jnaneshwara. He is also saying, Vishwatmak Vishweshwara, ya Nirakara Bhakti. So I love SIP, and this is the direct way, very best concept you have told today. I love you.
Thank you. I love you. I love you, Atmatra. And I love you as Sip. I mean, I love you as Sip. I don't see Atmatra. I see Sip. That's why I stopped.
I know.
And I told, there is, if Atmatra is not there, sometime I will say, Atmatra, where are you? Because you are my Deva. I see Atmatra. I don't see Atmatra as Atmatra. I see Atmatra as, anybody can tell, I'll give a prize. I don't see Atmatra as Atmatra. How do I see Atmatra? You know?
Supreme immortal power.
I see Atmatra as Paramatmatra. I see Atmatra not as Atmatra. I see Atmatra as Paramatmatra. This is Prema Yoga. Because I love Atmatra, and I don't love Atmatra with the man wearing a topi and the glasses. But I love the Paramatma that stands in front of me. And this is the new thing I'm teaching you all today. Please take your love from an ordinary love, that is in the earth, to divine love. Today is one of the most beautiful days of my life to share with you the meaning of Prema Yoga. First time I am hearing in my lifetime. First time I'm hearing. This beautiful gift came to me from the divine, my dear friends. And I bow down to you. And I want you to think about this Prema Yoga and how you can love the people you love, but don't love them being attached to the physical form. Love them as a manifestation, as a Devi or Deva. Love them as the Paramatma. I bow down to you.